Thank you, Alan, for that prelude. Today's going to be a rather music-heavy day. You're welcome. Welcome to the UU Church of Lancaster on this, what's feeling more like autumn Sunday morning. I am Reverend Elizabeth-Haralam-Shuba, and I am your affiliated community minister. This is our in-gathering service, which marks the beginning of the church year. The call to worship is penned by my colleague, Reverend Kimberly Ann Tomsick Carlson, who serves the First Unitarian Society of Milwaukee. It's titled A Place of Belonging and Caring. It is not by chance that you have arrived here today. You have been looking for something larger than yourself. Inside of you, there is a yearning, a calling, a hope for more, a desire for a place of belonging and caring. Through your struggles, someone nurtured you into being, instilling a belief in a shared purpose, a common yet precious resource that belongs to all of us when we share. And so you began seeking a beloved community, a people that does not put fences around love, a community that holds its arms open to possibilities of love, a heart home to nourish your soul and share your gifts. Welcome home. Welcome to worship. Please stand and join me as you're willing and able in singing hymn 188 from the Gray Hymnal.
Some of you may know this, and if you don't, the congregation will teach you. Follow me. Come, come, whoever you are, wander, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again. Let's do that again. Ready? Come, come, whoever you are, wander, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. This is where it gets fun. About this many people, ready? Come, come, whoever you are. 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 Everyone, come yet again,
As George is lighting our chalice this morning, I offer these words. We light our chalice this morning in the spirit of beginning, of homecoming, of the potential of newness, and the power we hold collectively to make this world a more just and loving place for the planet and all who live on it, without exception. May it be so. UU congregations across the map are celebrating their return today, which is a lovely bit of synchronicity that does not often occur with regularity in our tradition. As Congregationalists derived from the Free Church movement, we take very seriously our commitment to self-govern. This being so, it's kind of nice to think about UUs celebrating the same thing at the same time. So welcome. We are so happy you are here. And to riff on the David Fraser lyric, we need each other to survive.
The responsive reading for today is found in your order of service. We will be doing this all together. Usually I will say one part and you will be responding, but today we're going to be doing it all together. So I'm just going to start us off here, and then you can come in. We come together today to honor the universal community of seekers to which we all belong. We gather together today to share from our deepest place of safety, that we might nurture ourselves by celebrating one another. We call into our presence this hour our ancestors whose love, labor, and commitment made it possible for us to be here now. Let us call one another to the table of abundance, that we may feed on those fruits that sustain us and ever asks us to grow. Let us open to this moment with hearts that have no border.
Bless you, it is the season. A little shift from your order of service. The reading is called Welcome Home from fellow UU Rachel Rott. Welcome, you questioners, seekers of truth with a capital T, pilgrims longing for sanctuary, travelers needing harbor from the storm. Welcome those who are holding on by a thread, determined breakers of the chains of loneliness and isolation. You pushed through your fear because something told you that you deserved to belong. Welcome home. Welcome those who have braided ropes again and again. You've been there for our siblings who are just hanging on. You gave them a hand into community and told them that they could rest here. Welcome, you who seek spiritual and religious community for your children and your grandchildren. You entrust your young people here, and we as a community commit to nurture and respect them. Welcome. Welcome home. How do we make this tender place wider? How do we stretch into a bolder welcome, a radical generosity of the heart? Can we imagine ourselves the stewards and ushers, not only into this space, but into our circle of belonging? Can we commit and recommit to being accountable to one another as an anti-racist, anti-oppressive community that centers marginalized voices, that listens to those voices, especially when what they are saying is hard to hear? Can we be willing to change? When we break our agreements with one another, can we offer amends? Can we be humble and generous? There is grace enough here. There is, in this place, the possibility of healing, of repair, of making things right within ourselves, between us, and with the wider world. There is, in this place, possibility. Welcome home. Welcome home, indeed, beloveds. While today marks the beginning of the church year, UUCL has in no way been static this summer. We have played together, we have learned together, and we have struggled together. And this morning, I want us to set our intentions together. But first, a bit of history. In 1980, Carolyn McDade and Lucille Shook Longview were asked to create a worship service for the Women and Religion Continental Convocation of Unitarian Universalists. I'm sure if it was titled today, it would have been given a name that would lent to an easy acronym to remember. WARCQ? No, nobody calls it that. At any rate, it was born out of the feminist movement in our tradition, in a time where women were asking for a seat at tables that we had historically been barred from. Chuck Longview had as a delegate attended the United Nations Women's Year Assembly in 1975, after which she reflected on the ways in which religious organizations generally, and her beloved Unitarian Universalism specifically, continued to perpetuate oppression. And because of her critical voice and the support she received in sharing it, the Women in Religion resolution was passed at our national gathering, the General Assembly of 1977. As part of the worship service in 1980, they had held the first water communion, one that we'll also celebrate today, which has been adopted across our congregations on the first Sunday after Labor Day. It is only because of our willingness to engage critically with our history that we can be a living tradition. We cannot run from who we've been. I chose Come, Come, Whoever You Are for this in-gathering service because I love Rumi's line, lover of leaving. In this context, the leaver is not a quitter, but rather someone who embodies the spirit of departure necessary in spiritual seeking, suggesting a person who is always on a journey, open to new experiences, and unafraid of leaving the familiar behind in pursuit of a deeper spiritual truth. We UUs call ourselves a living tradition because we believe our faith is aspirational, that there is no arrival. We are lifelong spiritual travelers. Sometimes we need to step away from community so that we can find our way back to each other again. Sometimes we need to be willing to challenge stasis to honor our shared values of justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. We are restless souls, which is one of the things I love most about us. And true transformation asks us to look back as well as looking forward, back to who we have been in our seasons of becoming. When we know our past, we can better be liberated in our collective future. And we are more capable of generosity when we come to terms with the parts of ourselves that we aren't proud of or that we are working to come to peace with. Generosity of spirit cannot be offset by generosity in the coffers. I liked that one so much when it was delivered to me from the place I get wisdom, which I assure you is not myself. So I'm going to say it again. Generosity of spirit cannot be offset by generosity in the coffers. So what does hospitality look like in a community that covenants to challenge itself? Here's the thing, beloveds. The punk rock kid, 80s punk rock kid in me loves the thought of most anything radical. And I'm an Enneagram 8. For those of you unfamiliar with the Enneagram, it's a personality test that identifies 9 intersected types, driven by motivation, core fears, and desires. Its goal is to better understand our motivations and the motivations of others. If this is not your first time hearing me preach, it should be no surprise that I am an 8, known as the challenger. Having grown up in this church, I feel certain that our tradition is in some way culpable for my tendency to challenge, so I blame you. and I'm grateful. My family, maybe not so much. The title of the sermon today is A Seat at the Table, Radical Hospitality, because while we call today's ritual a water ceremony, there are other congregations which call it a communion. And UUCL's choice to call it a ceremony instead has historical roots. This church began in 1902 as a Unitarian congregation. This was before the two progressive traditions became one in 1961. As Unitarians, we believe in the oneness of God, not the Trinitarian view. Given that Christian communion serves to honor the suffering of Jesus on the cross for believers, we tend to avoid language that is too close to that story, although I think we're navigating through it, at least that's my hope. Words matter, and knowing why we choose some words and avoid others is just as important. Etymology helps us understand ourselves. But back to radical hospitality. Shirley Grisham, the first Black woman elected to Congress, is quoted as saying, "If they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair." I had a class in my United Church of Christ seminary whose design was to aid new ministers in articulating their traditions, practices around communion. The question was, does your tradition subscribe to an open or closed table? Translation, who can have communion at your church? A funny question for a congregation that avoids the word altogether. Like most of my writings in seminary, I first had to explain my understanding of the question as someone outside the target audience. Then I had to do my best to find similarities in what we do relative to ritual in our tradition. Using their language of the table, I said, we don't have an open or a closed table. In fact, there isn't a table at all. We are a house full of chairs, and we hand them out as you walk through the doors. To stay, you only need to be kind. But we're humans, right? So that's not always easy, especially when we care, which we all care. So big and so hard. The art of being human is our choice. And today we chose to show up, to mark this beginning, to say, this is another year, another opportunity. This progressive faith of ours is not easy. To be woke is to be a raw nerve in a sandpaper world. The way we can be radically hospitable is to meet each other where we are, to choose to give grace when someone doesn't seem themselves, to lovingly call people back into covenant as opposed to cutting and running. Trust must be nurtured. To be radical in our hospitality is to say, come. Come whoever you are. Here's a chair. I don't know yet what brought you through the doors, but I want to learn, and I hope you'll stay a while. In this place, with chair abundance, we can afford to share. Take an extra along with you to set it up at every table you are invited to. Make space for someone who didn't get the invitation. May it be so.
Oh, you probably know the chorus to this song. So, that's the choir for folks who came up bravely today to learn it with me this morning. You can certainly sing along to you'll know it. Aw. Thank you.
When I saw the title of the sermon being Radical Hospitality, I was a bit concerned. As I thought about that word radical, it was a bit scary. As I worked through that, first of all, I cling to the UU ideal of everyone having worth and dignity just because you are here. In my work as a therapist, I focus on assisting individuals who are dealing with their own depression, anxiety, and demons. We are all on a journey to understand our place in this world. The idea of the interdependence with the entire world brings to mind that you are dependent on me. I am dependent on you. That idea that we are all in this together. The art of being human is that I am going to fail at this sometimes. I hope that I will be humble enough to ask for forgiveness, and that you will be just as humble to forgive me. I think that that is the core to radical hospitality. The idea of being there for each other, even in our silence together. Now is the time in the service where we ask you to share in your financial treasures with the church to continue the works of this congregation. This month, we are giving half of what is collected will be shared with the PA Immigration Resource Center. I looked this up on the internet, and they have their purpose. Our programs provide access to justice for vulnerable immigrants at risk of detention or deportation, and immigrant survivors of violence through legal services, education, and advocacy. The ushers will be coming forward now to collect your donations. You may also donate through the QR code, which can be found in the order of service. We thank you for your generosity.
Sometimes it takes a rainy day just to let you know everything's gonna be alright. Alright. I've been dreaming in the sun. Won't you wake me up, someone? I need a little peace of mind. Wake me from this dream that I have dreamed so many times. I need a little peace of mind. Oh, raindrops come spilling in on you, and you're flowing like a river, the changer and the change. You've got to spill some over, spill some over, spill some over all, filling up and spilling over. It's an endless waterfall, filling up, spilling over all, filling up and spilling over. It's an endless waterfall, filling up, spilling over all, like the rain falling on the ground, like the rain falling all around. Sometimes it takes a rainy day just to let you know everything's gonna be alright. I know, I know, I know, alright. Filling up and spilling over, it's an endless waterfall, filling up and spilling over all, filling up and spilling over. It's an endless waterfall, filling up and spilling over all. Ah, ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba ba ba. Ah, ba 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 da ba 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 da ba 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 da ba ba ba. Filling up and spilling over, it's an endless waterfall, filling up and spilling over all.
Thank you, Stephanie and Alan. We're just going to take a brief commercial break here, so to speak, to let you know that there are a listing on the back of the order of services of events that are coming up in the church over the next couple of weeks. And we also invite you to join us after the service in Emerson Hall for coffee and conversation as we talk and move through the rest of the week. Thank you.
Like the women who gathered in 1980, we come together with water brought from places that have meant something to us. This isn't about who had an extravagant vacation to some far off destination. We are pouring into this bowl a part of ourselves, because love begins with sharing, and radical hospitality assumes we want to love. I have a picture here for those of you who didn't bring water, so fear not. There'll be some of you in today's sharing. And after the service, I plan to water our memorial garden with our communion water so that our ancestors are fed as well. After you share your water, I'll invite you to head over to the stones of joys and sorrows to lift up whatever you're holding today. So feel free to join me by coming up through the center with your water. Thank you. Before I invite us into a moment of silence, I want to say what joy it brought me to see as many diverse and beautiful vessels as people I see. So I love it. We had pill bottles, we had bags, we had cute little yogurt jars. Perfect. But now for silence. I offer up this prayer. Spirit of life, we give voice to our intentions to be a beacon of love in a world so hungry for community. Let this place be a respite from cruelty. May we lead with curiosity. May our restless searching always lead us back home. Blessed be. Ashe, Shalom, and Amen.
At this time, if you would join me in the affirmation of faith, which you can find in the front of your gray hymnals. We will do it first in English and then in Spanish. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. El amor es el espíritu de esta iglesia, y el servicio es su ofrenda. Este es nuestro gran pacto, el convivir unidos en paz, el buscar la verdad en amor y ayudarnos unos a los otros.
As the choir makes their way up, this is our anthem today. And if you've ever been thinking or considering being in the choir, bring your hymnal up front. If you want a chance to sing with the choir, bring your hymnal up front. I promise you'll learn it quickly. If you're looking for that opportunity to be a little brave, it's number 407, but I promise you it's not scary. If you want to come up and be a part of your choir in your congregation, be brave, friends. Come on. 407. Come on up. As I fix the microphone, I'm stalling for you all. Anyone, these are your friends. This is your choir family. If you don't think you can be in choir, this is your chance. You don't have to be polite. I'm giving you the chance. So come on up and join the choir. It only happens with you, right? Alan and I just work here, but it's you that make up the choir, right? Last offering, 407 your hymnal. Come on up, join us. Let's hear it for our soloists first. Hey! Gene, take it away.
We're gonna sit at the welcome table. We're gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days.
We're gonna sit at the welcome table. Gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days.
Yeah.
You can stay where you are. You can please stay rising because I'm Polly Pocket size. I'm going to offer the benediction from up here, which I know is totally not kosher. When I was a kid here and when I was a mom of young kids here for the benediction, we would join hands. I know we've had a global pandemic, so if you don't feel comfortable doing that, that's all right. But I'm going to invite you to take the hand of your neighbor as I offer Amanda Gorman's "The Hill We Climb" as our benediction. And I'm going to try to get through it, but it is hopeful, and it does hit me right in my feels. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade? The loss we carry, a sea we must wade. We've braved the belly of the beast. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notions of what just isn't always justice. And yet the dawn is hours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country in a time where a skinny black girl, descendant from slaves and raised by a single mother, can dream of becoming a president only to find herself reciting for one. And yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge a union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. So we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must put our differences aside. We lay down our arms so we can reach out our arms to one another. We seek to harm none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true, that even as we grieved, we grew, even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll forever be tied together victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one should make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we've made. This is the promise to glade, the hill we climb if only we dare it, because being American is more than the pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it. The world destroy our country if it meant delaying democracy. That this effort nearly succeeded, but while democracy can periodically be delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith, we trust, for while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the era of just redemption we feared in its inception. We did not feel prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So while once we asked, how can we possibly prevail over catastrophe, now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be, a country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generation. Our blunders become their burden. But one thing is certain. If we merge mercy with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left. With every breath from my bronze-pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, in every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge battered and beautiful. When the day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we fear it. Free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Go bravely in peace, beloveds, creating ripples of love wherever you go. Amen.
Thank you.